take the veteran leadership and experience of the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're not losing 2 in a row.
Wrong.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Giants.
Idiot.
I'm going to take the veteran leadership here of the Atlanta Falcons. They improved a lot from week 1 to week 2.
I like Green Bay on the road over San Francisco Sunday night.
I will agree with you.
Correct.
Going with the Bucs.
Le who? The her.
Well, we were talking about this before the show, and I said that there was a team in the NFC that I thought would keep up with them, that it would be the Rams.
You won. You did it.
All right, Sam, and welcome to Week 4, League of Superfans Weekly Pick'em Challenge. Week 3's in the books. It was a good week for you.
Yes, it was. Hey, can we say we're almost a quarter of the way into the season anymore? This whole 17-game thing, it splits it all up now. But I think that we're starting to see some tendencies of what these teams really are, right?
Yeah, I think after this week, it's safe to say that some of these teams will be showing their identity of what kind of team they really are.
For sure.
So last week you were 13-3, pretty good week. You beat me. I was 11-5.
Still respectable.
Respectable is all right, but that gives you a 2-game lead for the whole season. And I've also incorporated our underdog picks. So when we pick when we're picking a game, there's a favorite and there's a dog. And so far on the year, you've picked 9 dogs and your record is 7-2. Last week you were perfect 3-0. For myself, last week I was 1-0. I've only picked 5 dogs on the year. I'm 4-1 on the year. We'll see how that comes along as the year goes on. See if there's any spot, and see if there's any spots to bet.
Love the challenge. Bring it on, baby.
That being said, we'll get right into it. Move into week 4. Week 4, we've got Thursday night game. Jaguars at Bengals. Sam, what do you think?
A part of me really wants to give Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer their first win here, but Bengals just look like a better team on paper so far. I'm going with the Bengals in this game, but close one.
The Bengals have had some good wins. Usually the home team wins on Thursday night, so I'm taking the Bengals. Which brings us to Tennessee Titans at the New York Jets. I think the Jets are one of the worst teams in football. There's not too much to argue there. Tennessee's one of the best. Tennessee.
Yep, agreed.
Carolina Panthers at the Dallas Cowboys. Sam, Dallas looking pretty good after that victory on Monday night.
Yeah, Carolina's looking real good too. The number 1 defense in the league right now. I mean, this was probably the toughest pick of the week for me.
Yeah, for me. Go ahead. Sorry.
You want
that. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No worries. That's all right. I'm sticking with Dallas. Carolina, absolutely. They are right now. They're riding high. They're showing us that they're a team not to be taken lightly this year. But they haven't quite seen the offensive firepower that Dallas has. They haven't faced a complete offense like this. Their pass rush is great, but Dallas's line is also great, and Dak has mobility that they have not seen yet. This allows a little more of a matchup here. I'm calling Dallas on this one.
I agree with you. I think Carolina is looking pretty good to start the year, but I don't think they're going to have enough offense to keep up with the offense of the Cowboys. So I'm taking the boys. Which brings us on to Chiefs at the Eagles. The Chiefs have lost 2 in a row. I don't think anyone would have predicted that. And to lose 2 of the first 3 games of the year. The Eagles got demolished last week against Dallas. Look for more of the same. The Chiefs should put up over 30 on the Eagles easy.
Yeah, it's a standard case of who wants it more. But nobody can keep with Kansas City when they're on point. When all cylinders are firing, they're the best team in the league. Kansas City.
That takes us to the Giants at the Saints.
All right. So we're starting to figure out who these Saints are after they just put a hurting on New England. I'm assuming that they're the dominant team that they've shown us 2 out of the last 3 weeks. And the Giants have been in the running for worst team in the league. At least they can score a little better than the Jets, but not against the defense like the Saints. Saints all day.
I agree. I think the Saints defense is good enough to hold the Giants to very few points this week, and the Saints will put up enough to win the game.
Agreed.
Which takes us to the Browns at the Vikings. I think for me, this is one of the toughest games for me this week because I'm big on the Browns. I was big on them last year. They got a good run game. I don't think Minnesota's run defense is on par with the run offense of the Browns. But that being said, this game's at home. Minnesota needs the game more than the Browns are going to need this game. And Minnesota's played some good teams already this year, and they've put up points against every team they've played. So I think they'll be able to put up points against the Browns, and they should be able to take the victory at home.
Yeah. At the risk of making this a little boring and agreeing with you on everything, I'm taking the Vikings as well. They definitely want it more. They're in front of their home fans. Tight game, close game. I really like this matchup. I'll be watching it for sure. Even Beckham coming back last week, I'm not taking the Browns on this one. Vikings.
That takes us to Indianapolis Colts at my Miami Dolphins, baby.
Take it away.
All right, Sam. After week 2, Miami played so bad against Buffalo. It kind of, it knocked them down a peg. It took some of the optimism away for the season. They played so bad. And they come back against the Raiders in week 3, put up a respectable game. This game's in Miami, 1:00. I think that the defense should be up to the challenge to face Carson Wentz and force a couple turnovers. And I think they'll be able to put up enough points to win this game. I'm going with Miami.
Is Carson Wentz definitely back in this game?
I'm not sure. And if he isn't
sure
back,
on that? He might be game time. I saw that injury happen in live time. Aaron Donald sat on his foot and it went the wrong way. It's the same foot that he had the preseason injury on. I'm leery on that. And if he does come back, he's going to be gimpy. Miami's got a good defense. I'm going to take Miami on this. No, I'm sorry. Hold off on that. Give me 1 second. We're also still missing Tua. Where I'm gonna change on that, I'm gonna take the Colts, and I'm gonna do that on pass rush. I want to say that Miami's line has been their sore spot on this, and Darius Leonard has been shot out of the cannon the past couple weeks. Rushing the passer, playing all over the place. They've got a really solid defense. I don't know if Carson Wentz will make it or not. I know that Tua is not going to make it. So call that a break. But pound for pound, I'm going to go with Indy on this one.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins line is definitely the weakness, the O-line. But I think they're going to get better as the year goes on. I'm not saying they're going to be great, but they should play better as the year goes on. And, this week I look forward to get on track.
They got to grow.
Yeah, they're young. All right, that takes us to Washington football team at Atlanta Falcons. Sam?
I picked my Falcons last week. It worked out all right for me. Washington's definitely got a better defense than New York did last week. But I also don't think that they had the same kind of production on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, Terry McLaurin's great. They've got some other good pieces in there at the tight end position, what have you. Running game is not nearly as strong, and they don't have a quarterback. I'm going to take the veteran option in this. Even if I'm not a Falcons fan, I'm taking the Falcons in this one.
All right. Yeah, the Falcons, I just don't trust them. Every time I think they're going to win, they don't win. And that
Nobody
being said,
trusts them. Are you kidding me?
that being said, I'm going to take the Washington football team. I'm looking for that front seven to get after Matt Ryan, apply some pressure, force some turnovers, and yeah, I think the game's going to be close. And I think Washington's going to come out on top.
Look for Atlanta to get their left guard back from the IR this week. I hope that changes things a little bit. But you're absolutely right. That front four is dominant in Washington. That's the biggest strength of the team. You got Chase Young, obviously, Allen. You've got a lot of solid pieces there. Deron Payne. The run game is tough. You got to have quick passing. And I think that Matt Ryan's the right guy to make those adjustments.
All right, we'll see on Sunday. That takes us to Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. This was another tough game to pick. I actually delved into this game a little bit and looked into it, and this is what I got. Russell Wilson has never lost 3 games in a row in the NFL. He's lost 2 games in a row 9 times. And each one of those times he's come back and won the following game. One of those times was at the end of the year, and they won the wild card game. So that being said, Seattle's lost 2 games in a row. They've played some tough teams already in Tennessee, Minnesota, good offense up there. And San Francisco really hasn't played anybody except for Green Bay, and they lost. I'm taking Seattle.
San Francisco almost beat Green Bay. It took a last-second field goal to win that game. I have not picked Seattle once this year. I'm going to keep that trend. Russell Wilson has never won or lost 3 games in a row. You're absolutely right. He also had never lost in Minnesota before. He was 7-0 there against the Vikings, and that changed this past week. It may also change this week as well. San Francisco is a well put together team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The pass rush is outstanding. They are the right kind of team to contain him. Fred Warner is possibly the best in the game right now at spying a quarterback. And they've got the pieces to be able to keep up with him if they need to. Deebo Samuel's injuries keeps it a little touch and go on the offensive side of the ball. But Kyle Shanahan's system has never been about a focal piece other than when they went 8-8, forcing the ball to Julio Jones in 2015. When he relies on spreading the ball across the field, they produce. His offenses always produce, unless it's the second half of the Super Bowl, but that's a different story. This is the regular season, and we are playing at home. Give me the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. It takes us on to Buffalo Bills at Houston Texans. Sam, take it away.
Buffalo, come on.
Yeah, you don't need to say too much about this. Buffalo is one of the best teams in the league. Houston's one of the worst teams in the league.
Yep. Possibly the easiest pick of the week.
Agreed. It takes us to the other tough pick of the week. Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
At the Los Angeles Rams. I like what Arizona's doing this year so far. I like Kyler Murray. Again, he could be an MVP at the end of the year if he keeps it up. But the Rams, to me, are a more solid team. They're a more well-rounded team. Their defense is better than the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals' defense will improve as the year goes on. But to me, you got to go with Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, the defense. Matt Stafford's looking great. Cooper Kupp's looking great. They've got offense. They've got defense. They got it all right now. I'm going with the Rams.
You're absolutely right. They are looking great all over the place. How about Sony Michel? It's a last-second trade to that team. I mean, they're everything is working for the Rams. The Cards look great too. You're absolutely right. But they have not faced an interior pass rush like not St. Louis. LA is going to throw at them. This is a really tough game. Really, really good. I didn't want to pick against the Cardinals, but there's no way I'm going against the Rams. Not after that offensive showing last week. They are the complete picture. Sean McVay looks to be back to his Super Bowl looking self. This is a good team. I'm taking the Rams at home.
We agree. Takes us to Pittsburgh Steelers at Green Bay Packers.
All right, I'm going to start with this one. And I led off this show by saying week 4, we're starting to really figure out what these teams are. If there's one team that I don't know what they are at this point, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, you agree with me on that? They're just all over the place. Sometimes they come out, they're clicking, they're firing on all cylinders. It looks like they did in the start of last year. Other times,
I agree. I'm not ready to give up on them yet. You still have weapons on offense. Give up on them.
But playing against the Packers and how they've been getting off onto a roll here, they've been closer games than we're traditionally used to seeing the Packers playing. But then again, we're in Lambeau, and Rodgers always seems to pull out that Lambeau magic. I'm taking the Packers in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Packers too. The Steelers defense is good.
Don't sound too upset.
I mean, it's a tough game. I could see the Steelers winning this game just because it's one of those games where they just haven't played well. And, Green Bay looked good the other night. Now the Steelers come out and shut down the Packers. I don't think that's going to happen. No, I'm taking the Packers, but I'm not ready to give up on the Steelers for the year or Ben Roethlisberger. As soon as I give up on him, that's when he'll turn the game. He'll turn his game around and start playing well. Takes us to Ravens at Broncos. For me, this was a tough game. I went back and forth in this game. I like the Broncos defense. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I like their offense. Their offense is young and it's growing, and I think it's only going to get better as the year goes on. And that's in addition to their defense. As long as Von Miller can stay healthy, the cornerbacks can stay healthy, they've got a solid defense. The game's in Denver. All that being said, Baltimore has put up a lot of points on everybody but Detroit. They were beat up a little bit last week. Hollywood Brown missed a couple passes. The game shouldn't have been as close as it was. I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Ravens on this one too. But you're right. Denver deserves some credit. This was a harder pick than you would have thought at week 1. I guess this is the Denver defense that we were supposed to see last year. You lost Von Miller for the entire year. You lost Darrell Casey for the entire year. He retired now, but I mean, can you imagine what having him in the middle would have done? Oh man. Teddy Bridgewater is right for this team. I really like Denver too. I'm excited about what they can do. They're young, they can grow. Teddy could be there permanently. You never know. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He could be a franchise guy there. But Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, you never know. They're inconsistent, but when they're on, they are dominant. They are Chiefs level dominant. Look for them to bounce back from a rough win last week.
All right. That takes us to Lions at Bears.
Yeah, Lions at Bears. Could Fields have had a worse start to the season last year?
His first two games, he's got 6 completions in both games. He looks so bad that it's like it tempted me in picking them this week just because I don't think he can be that bad, and the Bears aren't that bad of a team.
They're not, and I don't think he is. He's got the poise. He's got the right decision making. When he's on, he's a good quarterback, and I don't think that I'm worried about Justin Fields long term. Short term, I absolutely am. A game like that can really get you down. They had a net gain of 1 passing yard to end that game last week. And it's so hard to turn off the voices on TV, what have you. He's got to been beating himself up all week over this. We're going to see how the rookie bounces back, but when in doubt, veteran leadership is always a good thing. Jared Goff has been shaky his entire career, but he's not that anymore. The Lions also have some other options on offense that give me a little more confidence in that team. They haven't been good yet, but they've also looked back all the way to week 1. They almost came back on the Niners. They have the ability to be good, and I think that a team like Chicago, especially a divisional matchup, they're going to come bringing the heat. I'm going to take the Lions to win this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Lions have been scrappy. I don't think they're going to lose every game this year. And so this game looks ripe for the picking. I'm going to go with Dan Campbell, and we're going to chew on some of the Bears' kneecaps this week. That takes us to one of the more interesting games of the weekend. Buccaneers at Patriots. Brady returns to New England to face Belichick. You know he wants to win.
Of course he does.
Patriots suck right now. Their offense is not that good. And, you got a rookie quarterback back there. The weapons really are you still don't have anybody dangerous at the wide receiver position. And the 2 tight ends they signed in free agency, while solid players, are no Rob Gronkowski and the other player that will not be named.
No, I agree. They don't have the same kind of pieces that Tampa Bay has, for sure, on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. Obviously Bill Belichick's a great coach, but Bruce Arians is too. So, some of that gets negated. It'll be fun to watch for sure. There's a lot of storylines here. There's a lot of heat. A great offensive coach against a great defensive coach. It'll be fun. They don't. At the end, New England doesn't have the pieces to keep up with Tampa Bay, and so Brady beats Belichick.
I agree. I think Brady's going to know what to expect Belichick to throw at him, and he's
of course
he's going to be able to.
But at the same point, look for it to be interesting because obviously Bill Belichick knows exactly what Tom Brady is capable of more than anybody else in this league.
Oh yeah, look for Tampa to get the ball going on the ground to set the pass.
Correct.
All right, and that takes us to Monday Night Football. Las Vegas Raiders at LA Chargers. Right now the Raiders are undefeated. They're looking pretty decent, looking good. Won some, they beat the Ravens first week of the year. Came back in overtime, beat Miami last week. They've looked strong. They don't seem to have a problem putting points on the board. That being said, the Chargers are also looking good. They've played everybody tight this year. They just beat the Chiefs. Their defense is better than the Raiders' defense. Yeah. The way their defense is playing, they can get after Derek Carr, force some turnovers. Look for the Chargers to win this game and even out the pack in that division, which is turning out to be, maybe the best division in football at this point.
Yeah, we thought that probably going into the year too. On both sides, both conferences, the West is loaded. This is fun. This is a fun division. I'm liking this. I didn't see this coming from the Raiders. They're undefeated for the first time since they went to lose the Super Bowl in 2002. It's looking like a good team. I like the Chargers team as well. They just show that they can beat Kansas City. That's huge. The Raiders, you're right. The Raiders are putting up points. And the Raiders were also putting up points, remember, without Josh Jacobs the last 2 weeks. So, having I think he's supposed to come back this week. Don't quote me on that. But that would be a huge lift. I'm still taking the Chargers at home. I like their offense better. Their defense is playing out of their mind. Derwin James erases a half of the field. They can do it all. Joey Bosa will get to Derek Carr no matter what. It's going to happen. And while the Raiders are putting it all together, I don't know if it's just the competition they faced. I don't know. Like they've played good teams, yeah, but they've caught them on bad weeks, and I don't know how much of that is luck and how much of that is skill. Any given Sunday, of course, but I'm going to take the Chargers on this one.
Yeah. The one pushback I'll give you on that was, the Raiders beat Miami last week. That was a good week for Miami. Technically, you got beat 35-0 the week before. And
but that was
the Raiders
a tie game
spotted them a 14-point lead, 14-0. They still came back and won the game. So they have character. They can hang in there and, overcome adversity.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same point, would that have changed if Tua Tagovailoa was on the field?
I don't think so. Not in that game.
All right.
Brissett didn't throw any interceptions. I don't think that was the difference in the game. Tua hasn't proved enough also, to say that they would have won if he played in that game. He hasn't done enough.